Maybe you've met someone like this. Someone who doesn't seem to live by the same rules as everyone else. While most people are running, struggling, and fighting just to stay afloat, they move through life with a strange kind of ease. Opportunities appear for them at the right moment. People seem drawn to them without knowing why. And when they speak, there's a quiet certainty in their voice. I met such a man on an ordinary afternoon. It was nothing planned, nothing special. I was sitting in a small cafe, half lost in my own thoughts, when he sat down at the table next to mine. We exchanged a few casual words, and within minutes it was as if the air around us had changed. He didn't speak loudly, he didn't try to impress, but every sentence carried a weight. Not the heavy kind, but the kind that stays with you. He told me something that day that I had never heard put so clearly. Life isn't about luck, it's about alignment. I remember looking at him, trying to understand. He went on to explain that most of us are not really living our own lives. We are simply playing out patterns we can't see. And those patterns, he said, are like an invisible script we keep reading from, without ever realizing we could change the words. At first, it sounded poetic, maybe even a little unrealistic. But there was something about the way he said it that made me lean in, curious. And then he asked me the question that would stay with me for years. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to live in constant struggle while others, without much effort, seem to have the wind at their back? I nodded. Of course I had wondered, haven't we all? He smiled. It's not chance, it's the pattern. That day, over coffee, he began to share what he called the ultimate secret of life, a truth so simple that most ignore it, yet so powerful that once you understand it, nothing in your reality remains the same. He leaned in slightly, as if to make sure I was truly listening. Your life isn't shaped by what happens to you. It's shaped by the image you hold of yourself when no one's watching. At first I thought he meant self-esteem, but no, he was speaking of something deeper, a silent inner identity, an image that lives in the background of your mind, quietly deciding what you believe is possible for you. He called it the pattern. It's not in the events, not in the circumstances, well, it's in you. The way you think about yourself creates the frame through which you see the entire world. This isn't philosophy. Psychologists call it the Galatea Effect. You rise or fall to the level of your own self-image. He explained that most people try to change their lives by changing their actions. Work harder, push more, force results. But if the inner image doesn't shift, the outer reality always bends back to match the pattern. It's like trying to change the picture on a movie screen by scratching at the screen itself, instead of changing the film running in the projector. You can struggle for years and still watch the same scenes repeat over and over. The key, he said softly, is to change the film. Then he told me something I wasn't expecting. The ancients knew this long before science did. He spoke of the Hermetic principle of mentalism, the idea that all reality begins in the mind. Today, physics is slowly catching up. What you observe, you influence. Where you place your attention, you feed with energy, and whatever you feed grows. He described his own practice. Every morning, before speaking to anyone, before even checking the time, he would close his eyes and plant a seed. Not a wish, not a hope, a decision. He would see in his mind's eye the event or feeling he wanted to experience that day, and he would inhabit it as if it were already here. It's not about pretending, he said. It's about choosing your point of focus so precisely that the rest of the day bends toward it. Then his tone changed. Gentle, but serious. Most people are manifesting all the time, but they're doing it unconsciously. He explained that we all carry a vibrational signature, the emotional and mental frequency we live in most of the time. That signature is like a radio station constantly broadcasting and constantly attracting experiences that match it. If your inner station is tuned to fear, lack, or self-doubt, then no matter what you want, the signal you send out is asking for more of the same. And because it's so automatic, you rarely notice you're doing it. He invited me to try something. For the next 3 days, notice the emotional flavor you wake up in each morning. Don't judge it, just name it. That's the station you've been broadcasting without knowing it. Now, he leaned back and smiled again. Here's the good news. You can change the station, and it takes less than a minute. His own ritual took just 30 seconds each morning. It was a blend of neuroscience, using the brain's plasticity, and an old Hermetic visualization technique. Here's what he did. He would place his hand on his heart, close his eyes, and recall a single moment when he felt completely alive. It could be from years ago. He would breathe into that memory until it wasn't just a thought, but a felt reality in his body. Then from that state, he would choose the kind of day he wanted to experience. That simple act, done daily, slowly rewired his inner pattern. It wasn't a fight, it wasn't forcing, it was gentle realignment. When you do this, he said, life begins to answer you differently. He shared stories that sounded almost unbelievable, yet carried no trace of exaggeration. Chance meetings that led to long dreamed-of opportunities. Unexpected money appearing in ways that defied logic. Healing moments that doctors couldn't explain. The pattern was clear. Small inner shifts were producing large outer changes. And the more he tested it, the more consistent it became. He challenged me. Try it for 7 days, not with desperate effort, but with quiet intention. Treat it like an experiment. Watch what changes. As our conversation drew to a close, I realized something. He wasn't claiming to have discovered anything. This ultimate secret wasn't hidden. It was in plain sight, working in every life, every day. The difference was that he had chosen to live with radical authorship of his experience. Most people are passengers, he said. They don't realize they're also the driver. I left that cafe seeing the world differently. The air felt lighter. The streets seemed somehow brighter. Not because they had changed, but because I had. And so I pass this invitation to you. For the next week, begin each morning by choosing your inner state before the day chooses it for you. Place your hand on your heart. Remember a moment of deep aliveness. And from that feeling, decide the tone of your day. See what happens. Notice what shifts. Perhaps this message has reached you at just the right moment. Perhaps you're ready to change the film.